Well, I think it's fairly safe to assume I've lost a couple of friends over this, but it wasn't me who did it. This weekend a friend of mine asked me to keep an eye on her two kids while she and her hubby went away for the weekend for some couple time. Her mother was initially going to watch the kids but fell through on short notice. She called me at 3 p.m. on Friday to come over in 3 hours, and my friend knew I probably wasn't doing anything. Which was both hurtful and accurate. I said sure. She's got two kids, a girl who is 8 and a boy who is 5. They're good kids for the most part. The boy has a little bit of a snitching problem and the girl has a sharing problem, but it's 2 days. So I show up Friday after work while my friend gives me the rundown and her husband tells the kids he will beat them with their sibling if they're bad. The kids were unimpressed. The parents leave and it's just me and the kids in the house and it's immediate pandemonium. The brother snitches on his sister for taking an extra cookie. The sister cries to me that her brother touched her switch. And I make the executive decision that they've got too much energy and if they're tuckered out they'll hopefully chill. So I asked the kids to track down bathing suits because we're going to my gym which has a pool and a guest policy. I did let mom know what we were up to before we left and asked if it was okay if I brought my dog over. He doesn't shed and is house trained. She said that was fine. Operation Pool was a great success, though the locker room got a bit dicey. That's a whole other story. Once everyone was appropriately tired, including me, we made a pit stop on the way back to their house to grab my pooch. He's extremely well behaved and loves kids, and both kids were immediately all about the Dexter, and the Dexter was all about the kids. Ground rules. No pulling on his fur, and he goes where he wants. Kids kinda struggle with the notion that a dog is not a toy. I obviously kept him out of places where he wasn't supposed to go, but I'm a grown-up. Allegedly. Miraculously after the swim and chasing the dog around the house left the kids to poop to pop and both fell asleep watching a Disney film on the TV. After the movie, I woke the kids up to trot off to bed and didn't make them brush their teeth. For the record, the son did indeed meet me under a bus when mommy called in the morning. I told the kiddos that if they left their doors open, Dexter might sneak in and give them cuddles. I increased the likelihood of this by sleeping on the couch and not leaving him a spot. He expressed his displeasure with me by flouncing off and going into the boys' room to sleep. Great success. Saturday we went for a hike in the morning, had a nap, and then played ball with the dog, and generally had a pretty chill day. Defused the sharing issue by explaining to the girl that the pup has feelings and wants just like any person, and she can't control him that way. She appeared thoughtful. And then immediately started yelling at her brother for hogging the dog again. At least she wasn't mad at the dog. I successfully heated up the casserole mom had left me for dinner following her carefully laid out instructions, admonished the kids to not give him people food, and was soundly ignored. I did draw the line at a couple of morsels from each kid and put my foot down. More than that and he's gonna get the runs, and nobody wants that. That night I made sure sis got a turn by again hogging the couch and also closing the boy's door since he got a turn already. The girl was smug. The boy made me call his mom. Mom wasn't happy that my dog was in her kids' beds. I reminded her that he doesn't shed and can't smell worse than the kids and her daughter might burn the house down with us inside if she doesn't get a turn. Mom accepted defeat. Saturday night was again relatively peaceful, though toothbrushing did happen. Early Sunday morning I got woken up by having my dog step on my testicles, which is a thing he's really good at, and he was mad at me for not leaving any room. I made room. Apparently, the girl tried to do something he didn't like and he noped out of there. She wasn't happy about that, but was appeased by my pain enough to go back to bed. This morning was relatively chill, with some more playing with the dog and some teen tug of war, and mom and dad got back around lunchtime and thanked me for keeping their kids in one piece. The kids said bye to the pup, and there were tears, and I loaded up myself and my dog and went back home to enjoy the relative peace and quiet. Yeah, I wish it ended there. Maybe an hour after we got home I get a phone call from a very frazzled sounding mom with kids crying in the background. She says they need my dog now. I'm sorry, what? You don't need a dog, you need my dog? Like, I don't need to come back and visit soon? You just want him? Well, the kids got so attached and they won't stop crying about missing the dog, and she and her husband don't have time for 2 kids and a puppy, and more guilt-inducing word vomit that was having precisely zero effect on me. Absolutely not. Click. Still, get texts about being reasonable and you have time to train a new dog. 48 hours of free babysitting isn't enough? You want my dog too? Not in this lifetime. Update clarification. The parents offered to pay me for my time over the weekend, but the rate for 2 full days of childcare was kind of a lot, and they don't have a lot of disposable income. It was an emergency and I had nothing better to do with my time. Told them not to sweat it. My pup is chipped and is still sleeping off his big weekend, but he's going nowhere solo, and I do have cameras up. I also texted my friend's husband asking him what the hell happened and why does his wife want my dog this morning. He replied back with a lot of genuinely hope sanity breaks out and we can move past this, but ain't nobody is pup napping my dog. Sad update. I can't really say much without identifying the people involved, but there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than I was made aware of. My friend is currently undergoing treatment for things I can't really describe without risking doing her, and she's got enough on her plate as things stand. She really did blow a fuse though, and is now aware that what she was asking wasn't rational and has apologized. Be reasonable. What part of her argument seems reasonable? You are much more patient than me, I would have torn her a new one. OP. I don't like getting that mad if I can possibly avoid it. Yeah, sure, I'd vent my displeasure, but when I get mad I stay mad for a while. Easier to just roll my eyes and let it go. She's not being rational, and I'm hoping she realizes that sooner rather than later. Hating someone is exhausting. I've never understood people who just see pets as tradable property. Also, those guys are definitely going to try to steal your dog at some point. OP. I hope not. We'll keep an eye out though. He's not really big on being away from his people unless he's sun worshipping, and I'm usually right there. Plus he barks his fuzzy lil brains out when he sees friends approaching. I'd know. Dear Lord, the entitlement, my mom would tell me no so fast and then send me to my room, I'm going to throw a tantrum. I would cut contact, up my security, and change the locks. OP. The security system's in place, he's chipped, and the dog also functions as a proximity alarm. If he's outside by himself I know when people pull up because he goes mental and he's never off on his own. They don't have keys to my place and IWFH, so it'd be hard to pull off a pup napping. Was over at the folks' house yesterday. They recently got back from visiting family, which includes several great nieces and nephews. My dad asked when he and my mom are going to get some grandkids and going on about how he wants a grandchild. I told him I really don't know if or when I want to have kids. I am 31 years old and have been with my boyfriend for 5 years. I have a bachelor's degree and a good job with benefits and retirement that I have been at since 2017. I recently got promoted. I have my own apartment and over $50K in the bank. Never been in any legal or financial trouble. I haven't drunk alcohol in over 2 years. But when I told him that I don't know when I am getting married or if I am having kids, he says I just wish your priorities were different. That really irked me. Maybe more than it should. I told him that maybe if he didn't sleep 20 hours a day, live in a dirty house with 7 cats and a 27-year-old addict, my brother, then maybe I might want to bring kids over here one day. And now the entire thing has gotten in my head and I am questioning my life. Go ahead and question your life. It's always good to take inventory once in a while, just to make sure that we like the direction we're going. But your father's comment basically means I wish you'd give me the things that I want, and it makes me unhappy that I'm not getting the things that I want. You should think about me for a minute. Yeah, no. You don't owe your father grandchildren, you don't owe your father anything. You get to live your life the way you want to live your life, just like he did. As you astutely pointed out, his choices have dictated his life, and look how well that's turned out. You do you. Go ahead and be irked at your father's selfishness. Instead of celebrating your successful life, he's deprecating you because he can't play granddaddy. That's childish and selfish, and you should feel absolutely free to stop spending much of your time with someone who does not value you. Your priority is you. If you don't feel kids are right for you, then that is you. Children are a lifetime commitment. Too many people take this lightly and have children without thinking first. Having children before you are ready just to give them grandchildren would be madness. It seems like your life and your priorities are great, and you sound like you are happy with your life. You do you. I'm sure that the addict can fulfill his desire for grandchildren and a bonus for dad, I'm sure he will have to raise them too.